In the upper left, in the purple, he has to win this game and the next.
SK Telecom T1 Dark.
And in the bottom right, in the blue.
Samsung Galaxy Can Deer.
You know, we were talking about like the amounts that Sulky and Dark randomized cheese into their play.
Yeah.
You know, it's really funny. The other, like, or one of the other absolute best Zergs in the world, Life, I feel like he randomizes macro into his play. He's like, well,
That's
I'm not going to try to
put it.
I'm not going to, it's not try to, I'm not going to kill them with Zerglings this time.
Oh, excellent.
Awesome sign.
Thank you.
Notice how big it says Artie there? They almost didn't show that sign because it said Tasteless on it, but you know what? Great sign, guys.
We
you
got
get
lucky
2 GSL
there.
coins for that.
Yeah.
Make sure you collect those coins.
All right, well, we have a Forge coming down here.
Pool first here for Dark because he did drone scout looking for something like this.
So far so good here for Dark.
Pretty even, these two right now.
I love what you said, though, that Life randomizes macro into his play. That's so funny because he is such an aggressive player all the time. Occasionally he's like, no, watch this. I'll just mix it up and play normal.
It was the funniest thing in his SSL group. I just rewatched it the other day, and like, Hero Hulk smashed him in the first match of the day.
Yeah.
Like 2-0, like, I am so much better than you, Life. Get out of this game. And then he played him again in the final match for one player to go to the round of 8. And Life was just like, I don't know, and he just like Zergling cheesed every game and won. It was so funny. It was like, well, Hero, I guess that's just how you're getting knocked out here. Sorry, buddy.
Well, we got the wall being positioned up here for Deer. Now, Dark is going into, at least from what we can see so far, his typical, unbelievably good macro play.
Yeah.
Let's see how Deer handles this. Deer, very well-rounded. No sharp edges on this guy.
He's such a good Protoss, and I really think he's going to be one of the very best Protosses by the end of this year. Absolutely. He was before, absolutely. In 2013, towards the end, he was just God mode. He was so strong, being at the top of multiple tournaments. You know, then last year was kind of like a down year for him, traveling some more and just not doing it. Here he's already coming back up quite strongly. And, you know, I don't place him right now with, like, the likes of Hero and Zest and Rain and Stats and, you know, but I think he'll get right back there. I think he's showing very good game sight, very good understanding. And don't forget, Stork is his coach.
A lot of our viewers may be unfamiliar with Stork.
No. Who would be unfamiliar with Stork?
Well, people younger than us, Artosis.
Oh, yeah, those people exist.
Yeah, they exist, yeah. But Stork was easily one of the best Brood War players of all time.
Oh, yeah. Top
he
4
was
of all time.
So smart.
Yeah.
So precise with his build orders. And, you know, as happens, a lot of these players, they get older. Some of them become casters, like Artosis and I. Some become coaches, like Stork. But this is the cool part about where we're at in RTS games and in esports, but most specifically with StarCraft, is that there are guys who have been playing for 15 years who are now coaching. Now think about that. There were coaches. There have always been coaches since it's been professional esports, but a lot of those guys didn't know as much about the game. Now we're really
To be frank, a lot of coaches in the past have sucked.
That's true. A lot of them don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You can't really advise
Just
the players.
don't know the game, and
they
pretend they do and keep their job.
It's unfortunate, and but now we are having some of the very best of the best of the best of the best of the best who are able to sit down and coach these guys. And it makes me excited because I think, where will we be in 10, 15, 20 years from now?
Oh, it's a beautiful thought, Tasteless. Almost brings tears in my eyes right now.
Yeah.
It's just like,
we'll just be like, we'll have to go to the StarCraft, absolute Zen master himself, and we go into a room, and it's all dark, and Bisu is just floating, sitting cross-legged, meditating.
He would, too. He would float. He is a high Templar.
He is, for sure. The Oracle's about to pop out.
Very quick third with this. This build actually was super popular like the beginning of last year, and I guess it's just a seasonal thing, man. This is a wintertime build.
Winter fashion build.
Yeah, it's come back into popularity hugely in the past few weeks. Quite a nice build as well. Lots of good scouting to be done and whatnot. Very poor harassment so far here, unfortunately for him. Already spores up.
Well, Dark's not the kind of guy you would expect to lose a bunch of drones to an Oracle opening like this. He's pretty.
Yeah.
That's why he's actually so good in the late game.
Yeah, you're not going to
Because
sneak DTs or Oracles on him.
Yeah, because he doesn't really miss a beat in the early game and mid game, and that's why he's so strong in the late game. It's not simply a matter of the game has to last long for him to do well. It's the fact that he's not made a single error in any way.
You know
the that time.
You know the saying like march to the beat of a different drum.
Yeah,
that's not Dark. Dark marches the beat of the right drum, the actual drum.
He actually marches to the metronome, man.
Yeah,
I mean he marches to the beat of the drum machine.
There you go.
It's so completely, totally synced up.
He is. He's one of those watches that only need to be retuned like every 1,000 years or something.
Yeah. It's down to like the 0.00 second.
Yeah. Atomic watch or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, this is a lot of gateways on the way. A whole lot of gateways. Now, I'm wondering if he's just going to go straight into an attack here, because he's making that Twilight as well, so I'm sure we're going to want to see +2 and Blink off of him. I'm actually very interested with this, with how quickly he added those gateways on. Robo coming up as well. I guess it's just like, he's more utilizing them as a full wall at that third base, which doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot. He doesn't have to use them right away. But it shuts down Ling harassment quite heavily. Roaches aren't going to be an issue either since he has a Void Ray.
Well, the fourth base being taken here, this is interesting. It says that Dark is confident he will never lose his base.
Well, he's going Stormhost.
Yeah, as long as he's got it. Makes sense.
Yeah.
And this is very strong because it allows you to easily put pressure on the majority of the accessible fourth bases for Protoss. Mm-hmm. Probably the safest one for Protoss to go would probably be the bottom left one, but even then, it's a pushable thing.
Absolutely. It does get away with this Oracle once again. Pretty good job with that. Keeps coming in and killing a few drones. That Void Ray, not going to want to lose that right now. But this speed of Swarmhost play, I'm very interested to see how Deer wants to play with this. I think Hero is the most on top of playing against Swarmhost right now. Really likes to use multiple Warp Prisms and very strong attacks at the moment. Will that be the type of style that we're going to see here? Looks like he is moving out with a very strong attack towards his fourth. If he can cancel the fourth,
oh, that's going to be huge.
That's all you need is like a big force field wall and a recall afterwards.
Okay, well, he's up at the ramp now. He's gunning down the Queens. The Oracle's coming around as well. And nothing. Zip 0 Zilch.
No, absolutely.
-1, actually, now that that Oracle got shot down.
Yeah, that's really rough. And now, see, the Prism is actually mistimed. It's not lined up with the attack quite. And we even have Mutas out to stop it. Suddenly out of nowhere, 3 Mutas.
How do you get those 3 Mutas so fast?
I don't know, you need a
He
Spire.
said 300 minerals, 300 gas, man. We have another push coming up here. He might be able to... Nope. I thought he might be able to gun down that Swarmhost. The Swarmhost's actually backing up now.
He's trying to muscle through with gateway units right now.
I don't know if this is going to work.
Well, if he gets really good force fields off, he has enough force fields that he could maybe do something. The thing is, there's enough Lings here that buy a lot of time.
Okay, he's starting to block off a few more of these. Time Warp right there. Actually, you know what? I think he can get over here. He's got enough Stalkers. He's blinking forward. He's got to be careful, though. There's a lot of Lings here, along with those Roaches. They're going to come down here again. I think he's going to get that hatch, actually. If he gets that hatch, that's huge. He's backing up again, though.
I'm
almost surprised
he target the hatch, but...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm surprised he is leaving the hatch there because this allows the Zerg to reconfigure his defense. I guess he wants to have just 1 or 2 more warping rounds. Or is he going to actually just attack? Wait, what? Well, is he just going to attack up here to the upper left?
Yeah, I think he's... Well, he's clearing creep right now. I think he's not going to engage any Locusts for a bit. But now that the Locusts are there, he can actually just go around the other side and try to hit again up the ramp. And that's exactly what he's going to do right now. He doesn't have energy for any spells on that Mothership Core right now. So if things get bad, he needs those force fields.
Okay. Nice force field so far, really keeping most of the Zerg army at bay. He blinks up, and this is a position actually where the hatchery blocks off a lot of the lower Zerg units there at the bottom from being able to meet up with the rest of these Stalkers. Does he have an observer over there?
I don't think this is a very clean engagement right now.
There's
like a
when
lot
the
of
next
Zerg
Locusts
hitting
come
him.
out here.
I'm actually kind of surprised in the way that we're watching this.
This is weird. More Stalkers are warping in, however, but I think with a Roach reload, this is going to be pretty tough. Okay, there's the next Locust popping out here. Now, the Protoss army right now is not particularly complex. In fact, it's about to be out of sentries. So
Yeah.
I think that might actually be the point where Protoss never gets another base again.
You may very well be correct about that. I believe he's on 9 gateways right now. And like he just tried to bludgeon his way through with only gateway units against that. And he actually almost did it, but I think he executed it like not... I know he didn't execute as well as it can be executed.
I'm curious if he could have sniped that hatch back there. But there was a period where he was really heavily pushing and engaging, but I do feel like, I mean, come on, man. There was blink on those Stalkers. He could have backed up. I think he would have been able to get the hatch and then back out and then take his own 4th base. But what we saw back there, I don't know.
Well, right now we do have 24 mutas on the way. That's a lot of mutas.
Rut-row.
And when those mutas come over, that should be the game. Like, he cannot possibly hold on to another base and defend against this. All he can really do is attack, and with only 2 Colossus, I don't think he has enough splash to make a difference.
Well, this should be the nail in the coffin. There's not a lot. Even though Stalkers with a blink are great against air units, I think the amount of damage and the impossibility of Protoss really being able to be aggressive without the mutas punishing them so badly, punishing the Protoss' main and expansion so badly that there's a point of no return. I think this should be the beginning of the end here. It doesn't mean Deer's going to leave right away, but if we had to highlight the moment where the killing blow was put on, that's basically it.
The mutas are pretty darn scary right now. I guess the nice part is he is making Phoenixes, so maybe he gets super cost efficient against these mutas. They don't do damage, and he can still do something about this game.
Well, he's got 4 Phoenixes out here. He's microed them pretty well.
Yeah, but he's not paying attention to, or is he? I think he just did a warp in line at his natural, because there are units breaking in through those rocks. More and more probes do go down, though.
Uh-oh. Well, now it's Dark who's not watching.
Oh, yeah. Loses actually a few mutas here. Still really preferring this position for Dark, though.
Well, I mean,
if Deer ends up winning this game, I'll be very impressed.
The money he has banked is pretty off the hook. I mean, he can remake. If you'd have even, like, all of his air units were killed, he could make 17 more mutas right now.
That's true.
You're like, okay.
And think of all the gas he's forcing to be spent on these Phoenixes.
Oh, yeah.
And the thing is, the Phoenixes, he doesn't have enough gas to get range as well. So he's losing Phoenixes here and there. He can't really harass well while microing those Phoenixes either, because the Phoenixes require ridiculous micro.
Dark is getting counterattacked here. But I don't know if he can actually get through these Locusts, really.
Yeah, he doesn't want to engage them, that's for sure. Just start losing units against that. 17 Corruptors on the way. You take out these Colossus one time, and that's... I mean, look, it's Zealots, Stalkers, and Colossus. This is not a very high-tech army. He doesn't have Storm. He doesn't have Archons. We don't even have Warp Prisms on the map.
No, it's sort of a mid-game army, really.
Yeah, it's
just generic...
it's like the generic type of army you might do a timing attack with, but it doesn't have the sentries. It's...
Well, he's going to have to push all the way through the Locusts and then get on top of these Swarm hosts. But in that amount of time, well, the Corruptors can already kill everything. And if the Corruptors kill everything, it's pretty tough for the Stalkers alone, to get in there and actually jump on top of the Swarm host without being eaten alive by the Locusts.
Well, he is going to at least pick off this 5th base. So he's keeping it at 4 base versus 3, although he did lose a lot of probes, so his economy's still hurt quite a bit here. But with like 31 Stalkers as his army, what are you doing with 31 Stalkers against this? Right? He has no splash damage right now to deal with Locusts.
Yeah.
I like the 2 Infestors.
You know,
we
we've talked about this before, but how when you get a ton of Stalkers, and it's either a really good thing or a really bad thing.
Yeah.
It either means you had
Here
the
it's really
luxury to get enough Stalkers that you can just win with pure micro, or it means you were forced to just keep making Stalkers because you were in such a desperate situation that was the only unit that could do anything effective. Now, he does come in here to this angle.
Yeah, that was a nice move.
Now he's up against a wall. He, I guess he killed like a Swarm host there, but not much else.
Yeah, not much at all.
Still only Stalkers here.
I think it's smart to stay on only Stalkers. It's not like he can switch into Colossus and win when there's this many Corruptors out.
Well, Zerg has way too much wiggle room here, so I guess he's going to stay on this.
He's making a Templar Archive, so maybe we'll see Storm later on, but I don't even know if that really will give him a chance. Storm is not really what you want against Locust. It's like a support spell against
it
this type
buys
of
you like
composition.
a turn
Yeah.
to take out their free units with some of your mana, but not much more than that.
Exactly. Well, I mean, keeping your opponent on 4 bases is nice, but not when you have no transition point here, which he doesn't have yet. Yeah, it might get to a point where he can. He is taking his own 4th base, so keeping the creep spread back, forcing Dark to stay back and play defense. That's how you get your extra base mining and possibly, you know, get into a situation where you can switch it up a little bit, you know, get some better units to actually eventually break him with. In fact, this is a nice move as well.
Yeah, this is one way to go around the Swarm hosts and just see if you can.
Ooh!
Oh, hello!
Wow! That was actually really good.
Well, he can come get the Spire here. He could go hop in the main. Look at this!
Deer is doing a fantastic job here. I am so impressed.
Meanwhile, a counterattack up here with these Roaches. Not much of an answer for that back at home.
No,
Gets
sir.
that Queen. I guess he could take out the entire tech tree.
Yeah, it's not a bad choice. He's killing a bunch of Overlords as well here. You know, unfortunately for him, he did just lose his Cybernetics core, so it's going to be hard to kill these Roaches off.
He's going to have to stop him with Zealots.
Yeah, that's with slow Zealots.
Just get more slow Zealots. Hope he's not good at kiting with Roaches.
Yeah. Looks like he does want to blink out of here. The Swarm hosts have joined with these Broodlords.
He could get under that. Yep, just like that.
Very nice moves. Oh, it doesn't quite get that one, but you know what? He's picking off a lot of expensive units here. In the meantime, these Roaches, though, are doing work.
Deer is going to lose this game, but I have to say, this is pretty impressive play. Like, Dark definitely has to focus in here.
You're certainly right about that, Tastes. Wow,
GG.
It was a very interesting game. I think that Deer did not execute his early attacks. I think if you give that to one of the very best 4 or 5 Protosses in the world, what he was doing, I think they may have broken Deer's 4th early on. I mean, Dark's 4th, sorry, early on. But Deer wasn't quite able to do that. It was very impressive what he did with the Blink Stalkers, because that's not, Blink Stalker is not a good composition with Swarmos. It buys you time, but normally doesn't do as much damage as we saw there.
We're going to go on to game number 3 now. Dark and Deer, it's neck and neck. What was the 3rd map? Do you remember? Was it Foxtrot? What?
I think it's Overgrowth.
Overgrowth? Okay, you might be
so.
right. Well, let's see what happens here with these two guys. The winner does go on to get out of this group. The loser is not out of the GSL Code S yet. They will go down to the final match of the day, the 5th best of 3. All right.
Let's see. Is it Overgrowth? Yeah.
Oh, good call. Nice. Okay. We've seen a few builds from these guys trying to hard counter each other. A little bit of wax on, wax off mind games here.
Yeah.
And Dark went for that quick pull in game 1.
Yeah.
Deer shut it down.
Yeah, he got the way built.
We saw Deer try to go for a quick forge, maybe to do a cannon rush.
Yeah.
Dark planned properly.
Yeah, he actually scouted early for something exactly like that. So he kind of predicted it well that game. But overall, both players doing a good job so far this series.
Yeah, today's been great games.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, our game is loaded up. So let's get ready for Dark against Deer in this GSL Code S.